Welcome to our guide on surviving the world's worst ant bites. Out here in the wild, knowledge is your best weapon. And trust me, you don't want to be caught off guard by these little critters. We're about to dive deep into the 5 most painful ant bites you can experience. We're talking searing pain, throbbing welts, the works, but fear not, I'm here to equip you with the knowledge to survive. Remember, prevention is key. We'll cover how to avoid these nasty bites in the first place, because let's face it, nobody wants to become an ant buffet. So buckle up, get ready for some survival tips straight from the wilderness, and let's tackle these ant encounters head on. Deep in the heart of the rainforest lurks a creature with a bite so excruciating, it's earned the nickname bullet ant. Imagine a searing hot nail hammered into your flesh. That's how locals describe the initial sting. These ants aren't called bullet ants for nothing. Their sting is rated at the top of the Schmidt pain index, and for good reason. We're talking waves of burning, throbbing pain that can last for a full 24 hours. Now these ants aren't actively looking to bite you. They use their sting to defend their colony, and will only attack if they feel threatened. Remember, respect the wildlife, and they're more likely to leave you alone. But if you do find yourself on the wrong end of a bullet ant's wrath, don't panic. We'll get to some pain management and survival strategies in just a bit. Stay with me. Knowing your enemy is half the battle. Bullet ants are large, measuring up to an inch long, and they sport a reddish-black coloration. They're hard to miss. These ants are primarily active during the day, foraging for food on the rainforest floor. They're not particularly aggressive, but they will defend their nest with a vengeance if disturbed. When exploring the rainforest, be mindful of where you step and what you touch. Avoid disturbing potential nesting sites like rotting logs or leaf piles. Remember, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. And, if you're venturing into bullet ant territory, it's a good idea to wear protective clothing. Long sleeves, trousers tucked into boots, and gloves can provide an extra layer of defense. Right, let's say you've had a nasty encounter with a bullet ant. The pain is intense, but the key here is to stay calm. Panic will only make things worse. The first thing you need to do is get away from the area. Bullet ants release pheromones when they sting, signaling others to attack. You don't want to end up with multiple stings. Next, clean the sting site with soap and water. This will help to prevent infection. You can apply a cold compress to the area to help reduce swelling and numb the pain. Now, for the pain itself. Over-the-counter pain relievers can help, but be prepared for a long night. The pain from a bullet ant sting can last for hours, and sometimes even a full day. Remember, this is survival. While the bullet ant may be the king of pain, fire ants are a force to be reckoned with in their own right. Originally from South America, these tiny terrors have spread across the globe, wreaking havoc wherever they go. Now fire ants might be small, but don't let their size fool you. Their sting packs a punch like a burning match, hence the name. And to make matters worse, they attack in swarms. These ants are incredibly territorial, and will defend their mound with a vengeance. Get too close, and you'll quickly find yourself covered in a swarm of angry ants, each one eager to deliver its fiery sting. Remember, prevention is always better than cure. Stay aware of your surroundings, especially in areas known for fire ant infestations. We'll discuss more on how to avoid these critters in a bit. Fire ants prefer open, sunny areas and build large mounds, often in lawns or gardens. These mounds are a dead giveaway, so be sure to steer clear. Look out for mounds of loose, crumbly soil, often with a distinct volcano shape. Don't be tempted to poke around, that's a surefire way to trigger an attack. Now, fire ants are most active during the warmer months, but don't let your guard down in cooler weather. They can still pack a painful sting. Remember, vigilance is key when it comes to surviving in the wild. Always be on the lookout for potential dangers, no matter how small they may seem. Okay, so you've been stung by fire ants. First things first, don't panic. Brush off any ants that are still on you and move away from the area quickly. The good news is, while painful, fire ant stings are generally not life-threatening unless you happen to be allergic. But we'll get to that in a moment. Now you'll want to clean the sting site with soap and water to prevent infection. A cold compress can help reduce the burning sensation and swelling. Over-the-counter antihistamines can also provide relief from itching. But if you experience any signs of a severe allergic reaction, such as difficulty breathing or swelling of the face, seek medical attention immediately. G'day survivors, we're headed deep into the heart of Australia, a land teeming with unique and often deadly creatures. We're here to tackle one of its fiercest, the bulldog ant. These aren't your average picnic crashers. They're bigger, bolder, and pack a punch that'll make you wish you stayed home. Remember, it's not just about knowing how to survive the bite, it's about respecting the power of nature and avoiding a nasty encounter in the first place. Now the outback can be a harsh and unforgiving environment, even without these feisty ants on your trail. The sun beats down relentlessly, water is scarce, and the wildlife, well, let's just say it's not always friendly. So staying aware of your surroundings is absolutely crucial. Keep your eyes peeled for these ants, particularly around their nests, which are often found in dry, open areas. Remember, these ants are aggressive and territorial. They won't hesitate to defend their home, and with jaws like that, you don't want to be caught in the crossfire. A single bulldog ant can deliver a painful sting, but if you stumble upon a nest and disturb it, you could be facing a whole army of them. And trust me, that's a battle you're unlikely to win. So prevention is key here, folks. Stick to established paths whenever possible and avoid areas where you see ants coming and going. And always, always make sure you've got your first aid kit handy, just in case. Out here, preparation is the difference between a good story and a trip to the hospital. Now, let's move on and talk about what to do if one of these bad boys decides to latch onto you. Right, let's talk venom. The bulldog ant packs a powerful punch containing a cocktail of nasty stuff that can knock you sideways. We're talking excruciating pain, folks, the kind that makes grown men weep. But it's not just the initial sting. Their venom can trigger some serious reactions, especially if you're allergic. We're talking about anaphylactic shock, a life-threatening allergic reaction that can shut down your respiratory system faster than you can say venom. Symptoms to watch out for include difficulty breathing, swelling of the face and throat, rapid pulse, dizziness, and confusion. If you or someone you're with experiences any of these symptoms after a sting, it's critical to seek medical attention immediately. Time is of the essence in these situations. But even if you're not prone to allergies, a bulldog ant sting is nothing to sneeze at. The pain can be intense and long-lasting, radiating out from the sting site. You might also experience swelling, redness, itching, and even some nausea and vomiting. Not a pleasant experience to say the least. The key here is to act fast. As soon as you're stung, move away from the area, just in case there are more ants lurking about. Remember, these guys are aggressive, and they often attack in numbers. Once you're at a safe distance, we can start treating that sting. First things first, if you've got any stingers embedded in your skin, get rid of them. Use a pair of tweezers or even your fingernails to gently scrape them out. Don't squeeze them, as this can release more venom into your system. Once the stingers are out, it's time to clean the wound. Now, out here in the outback, you might not have access to fancy antiseptic wipes, but that's alright. Clean water will do the trick. If you've got some soap, even better. Gently wash the area around the sting to remove any dirt or debris that could lead to infection. Remember, even a small wound can turn nasty if it's not properly cared for. Next, let's tackle the pain and swelling. A cold compress can work wonders here. If you've got some ice packs in your kit, now's the time to use them. Otherwise, a cold, wet cloth will do. Apply it to the sting site for 15 to 20 minutes at a time, repeating as needed. This will help constrict the blood vessels, reducing swelling and numbing the pain. Now listen up, because this next part is crucial. Keep a close eye on your symptoms. If the pain is unbearable or the swelling doesn't subside, don't hesitate to call for help. Remember, there's no shame in seeking medical attention when you need it. Out here, survival is about knowing your limits and making smart decisions. We're heading to the southwestern United States, home to the red harvester ant. These little critters might not look like much, but their sting packs a punch. Trust me, you don't want to stumble upon their nest unawares. It's like stepping on a landmine of pain. Now, these ants aren't aggressive like some of the other fellas we've talked about. They're just trying to protect their home, which they build in dry, open areas. So, keep your eyes peeled and your boots moving. Remember, prevention is key in the wild. These ants are small, so pay attention to the ground. And if you see a mound of dirt with a clearing around it, steer clear. That's their nest, and they won't hesitate to defend it. So what happens if you get stung by a red harvester ant? Well, it's not going to be a picnic, that's for sure. You'll feel a sharp, burning pain at the site of the sting. Think of it like a hot needle jabbed into your skin, not pleasant. The good news is, for most people, the pain will subside within a few hours. You might experience some itching and swelling, but nothing too serious. However, some folks can have allergic reactions to the venom. If you start to feel dizzy, have difficulty breathing, or notice your throat swelling up, those are signs of a severe allergic reaction. In that case, you need to seek medical attention immediately. Time is of the essence. The best way to avoid red harvester ant stings is to be aware of your surroundings. These ants are most active during the day, so be extra cautious when exploring their territory. Stick to established paths, and avoid wandering off into the undergrowth. If you do need to venture off trail, wear long pants tucked into your socks. This will provide an extra layer of protection against any curious ants. And trust me, you don't want them crawling up your legs. When setting up camp, choose a spot that's free of ant mounds. Clear away any debris or vegetation that might attract these critters. Remember, we're guests in their home, so let's be respectful guests. We're diving deep into the heart of the jungle now, facing off against one of the most formidable forces in the insect world, army ants. Now these guys are not your average picnic crashers. They're a force of nature. Imagine a river of jaws and armor, millions strong, sweeping across the jungle floor. That's an army ant colony on the move. They're nomadic, constantly on the hunt for food. And by food, I mean anything in their path. These ants are blind, relying on scent and pheromones to navigate and communicate. They move in a massive swarm, devouring insects, spiders, and even small animals that get in their way. It's a spectacle of nature, both impressive and terrifying. Now you might think, ants don't bite, they sting, right? Well, army ants are a different breed. They have powerful mandibles, like tiny sets of serrated shears, that they use to tear apart their prey. And believe me, you don't want to be on the receiving end of those jaws. Their bite is incredibly painful, leaving behind a nasty pinch that can bleed and become easily infected in these humid environments. But the real danger comes from their numbers. Remember, these ants attack in swarms, so a single bite is just the beginning. They'll swarm over you, biting relentlessly until you shake them off. It's a terrifying experience, even for a seasoned adventurer. The key to surviving an army ant encounter is to avoid them altogether. Listen carefully for the telltale rustling sound of their march. It's a low hum that grows louder as they approach. Trust me, you'll know it when you hear it. If you do find yourself in the path of an army ant swarm, don't panic. Running will only make things worse. Instead, stand still and let them pass. I know it sounds counterintuitive, but trust me on this one. Cover your face and any exposed skin with your clothing. Remember, they're blind, so they're not actively seeking you out. They're just following their trail. Once they've passed, carefully check yourself for any stragglers. So there you have it, some of the world's most formidable ants and how to survive their wrath. Remember, the best way to avoid ant bites is to be aware of your surroundings and take precautions. Wear proper clothing, be mindful of where you step, and always respect the power of nature. If you do get bitten, stay calm, clean the area with soap and water, and apply a cold compress to reduce swelling. If you experience any signs of an allergic reaction, seek medical attention immediately. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more survival content. Until next time, stay fearless, stay prepared, and most of all, stay safe out there.